Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a good week, staying productive, staying healthy. In this class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS Task 2 writing, and I'm going to introduce a couple of new techniques for you just to keep it interesting. This is a members chat class. To become a member, click the join button next to the subscribe button. There will be an all chat class coming up in roughly 90 minutes. That will be a academic reading class. I hope everybody will attend that as well. Hi, me here. Good afternoon to you as well, if it's in the afternoon for you in your time zone. Welcome, members. Again, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Please visit us there. And for the general IELTS, please visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of materials for you. Hi, Ois, Rashika, Rajveer. Nice to see all of you. All right, everyone. So just a quick glance at our websites. This is our academic website here with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are a British Council Registration Center and British Council agents. This is our general IELTS website here with the green background. You can click that big red button to join us there for a one-time payment to get lifetime access. If you have questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. I will gladly answer your inquiries. All right, everyone. So today, task 2 writing. We're going to start that with members. This was a question from a past exam, and then we'll have that reading class that I was talking about. So let's take a look at the question first. Here we go. Let's read the question carefully. That's really important. All right. So IELTS Task 2 writing. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Some people think that companies should produce products durable. Others think that they should be as cheap as possible. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Okay? Write at least 250 words. So that's a minimum of 250 words. Now, so far we have been doing 4-paragraph task 2 practice. However, we're going to do 5 paragraphs. So we're going to switch it up a little bit, and I'll explain why in a bit. So let's do 5-paragraph essay, and we are going to do 300 to 350 word maximum. Okay, so some of you are probably wondering, why am I being so specific? Okay. All right. Well, as you know, I just sat the IELTS exam, and we're going to have a whole video series coming out. And the only mark that I wasn't completely satisfied with there, in fact, I was quite disappointed about, was the mark that I got for writing. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly why or how I got that mark, which is totally fine. I've gotten much higher marks in writing as well in past exams. So it's a mystery to me. However, I have realized that, and this might not be a surprise to many of you, the writing section of IELTS is the most subjective. Okay. What do I mean by that? What do you think I mean by that? So the writing section of IELTS is the most subjective. What do you think, everyone? What point am I making by saying this, that the writing section is the most subjective? What am I trying to get you to realize or think about there? I don't want to just control the class. I want you to communicate to me. So let's have a bit of back and forth. What do you think I mean by this? So Tanya says your score depends on the person who will check. Yeah, absolutely, Tanya. So even though there are guidelines for the people marking, it is subjective. And unfortunately, even when you get the paper remarked by another examiner, so if you contest your score, their marking is biased because they know that you have already received a score that you are not happy with. So I'm sure that IELTS does the best they can to stay subjective. So they do the best to try to give you an honest opinion. However, they are an institution which prides themselves on integrity, and that's important. But the writing section is arguably the more subjective. The two subjective sections, of course, are speaking and writing, right? So here, you have to keep in mind that writing is the most subjective, and that's the one where students are most often surprised, as I was in my previous exam. And you're going to see that in this series that we're going to release over the next month as well, so kind of a little bit of foreshadowing. So the question, of course, that some of you might be thinking at this point is, how do I remove as much of that subjectivity as possible, right? So okay, and this is kind of the question that I have been really thinking about over the past few weeks, so that I can improve my teaching style. And this is why I like taking the IELTS exam, so that I can come up with these kinds of introspections and hypotheses. So I want to put this question out there for you. I have some ideas, but I really want to just share some of these ideas right now. So how can I remove as much of the subjective perspective of the examiner as possible so that your grade is the maximum possible from an average number of examiners? Okay. So Ferdov says, write as much as possible. I actually think that's not right, but I'll discuss and tell you why. Okay, so write as much as possible. Okay, I'm open to some ideas here, and then we're going to get into it, and we'll use this essay. Carolina says, don't take it personally. Do you mean do not take the question personally, Carolina? So do not take the question or the mark personally, perhaps? Okay. Prashita says, try to be diplomatic. Okay. See, it's incredible how many ideas people have around this. So try to be diplomatic in your response. Okay. Welcome, Ali, to our group of members. Rajveer says, write essays to satisfy the marking criteria for a specific band. Okay. Oa says, give examples from reality. Okay. Sure. Mihir says, illustrate a wide range of possibilities. Sure. Okay. All right, Ali. Thank you for joining. That's fantastic. Send me an email after the class so I can hook you up with those exclusive videos. Ferdav says, use more academic words. Okay. All right. So good. Okay. So we've got some ideas there, and I saw that there are lots of them. Okay. So yeah, I think we have some good ideas. I'm going to go through these a little bit one by one because, like I say, I've been reflecting a lot. So write as much as possible. No, don't do that. Okay. So no. It is better to go 10 to let's say 20% over the limit, but not more. At that point, focus on quality if you have more time. Okay, so let me tell you why. In my exam, I wrote 300 words for task 1, and I wrote 500 words. It was actually over 300 words for task 1, analyzing every part of the 2 bar graphs that I received from most to least critical. And for my task 2, I wrote 4 very well-developed paragraphs I think the length was 520 something words, so more than double the minimum. Now, technically, you do not lose marks for writing more words. You lose marks for writing less than the minimum. That's why the question says write at least 250 words and write at least 150 words. However, reflecting on my writing, I definitely think that if I had written less words, so if I had thought a little bit more and written less and focused more on quality, then I could have gotten a higher band score. Okay, so the subjective marking of the writing section is especially true once you get into the band 7, 8, 9 range. Okay, so once you have, okay, I'm going to show you what kind of quality you want to focus on. Okay, so, and this is where the computer-based test definitely is a little bit more user-friendly, because making a lot of corrections on the paper-based test is definitely more challenging than with the computer-based test, okay? So if you're doing the paper-based test, you have to be very careful about your editing because obviously it's not as convenient or not as simple as with the computer-based test, okay? If anybody has questions, by the way, you can interrupt me at any point, all right? So you ideally should have at least 4 minutes at the end of task 1 and 6 minutes, I would say, at the end of task 2 to review and revise your essay, making corrections and improvements. Okay? And to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't do that. I had about 4 minutes or 5 minutes left, maybe not even 5, about 4 minutes left at the end to review both my task 1 and task 2. And what's interesting about that is, of course, reviewing 800 words of writing in 4 minutes is a very challenging task. So the more you write and the less time you have for review, the less time you have for revisions to make sure that your content, your spelling, and your grammar are correct. Is everybody following me there? Okay, so quality of your writing . Vocabulary, grammar, and content are much more important than quantity. Okay? All right, so it's really important. So writing a lot, but with mistakes, is going to cost you. And I think that's what cost me on the exam, okay? I wrote a lot, and I think it was fairly good, but there's a very good chance that it wasn't as good as I had thought as far as quality is concerned, okay? So checking your spelling and your grammar mistakes are very important, but not only your grammar mistakes, also your content. So it's very easy, even for an expert user of the English language, to write a sentence that seems out of place or seems like it doesn't make sense, okay? All right. So some of you are probably wondering at this point, why is Adrian saying then to write a 5-paragraph essay with 300 to 350 words maximum, okay? So the reason I'm saying that is because we want an essay that is comprehensive. So that's why I said I'm going to teach you a new technique today, okay? And I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but I want to touch on these points. So I can't remember who it was that said, not Pavan, it was, let me see. Yeah, it was Prashita. Prashita says, try to be diplomatic in your response. And I think that is important. I'm starting to get the feeling, the more I deal with IELTS, that even questions that ask you the is it positive or negative are actually looking for a diplomatic response where, yes, you have to support one side, but you still need to mention the other side. I'm going to test that theory in a couple of exams in the future. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. Unfortunately, there's a lot of confusion about band levels for writing. But it is good to be diplomatic. So in this kind of a question, especially, I think this is kind of the lucky type of question. Read this one with me. So this was an exam question covered a few months ago. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Some people think that companies should produce products durable. Others think that they should be as cheap as possible. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Okay? So this is kind of the lucky one because it's telling you to discuss both views, but I do think that oftentimes, even when it doesn't say that, IELTS does want you to reflect both sides of the argument. Okay? All right, so we'll get to that question in a second. Rajveer says, write essays to satisfy criteria for a specific band. Rajveer, that would be great if we actually knew what that was. And this is kind of my recent discoveries. Okay. So I challenge you, maybe they're out there, I've been doing a bit of searching. I challenge you to search for British Council or IDP or Cambridge, official IELTS Cambridge, not others. Actually, I'm not even going to say that because that's confusing. I think people don't realize that a lot of Cambridge stuff isn't official IELTS stuff. So IDP. Okay, so I challenge you to search for official British Council, IDP Band 7, Band 8, Band 9, sample essays where they clearly state that this is a Band 9 essay. And not just here's a sample response. Okay, So I've found essays from British Council, from IDP, that says here's a sample response to task 1 or task 2. But I'm always a little bit surprised to see that they don't actually say this is a band 9 or a band 8.5 or a band 7. They neglect to say that because I think they too realize that it's subjective. Okay? So did everybody catch that? And if somebody does find it, please share the link with me in an email, because I would love to share, I would love to see it, and I would love to share it with other students as well. So if you have found a page that's official British Council or IDP, and it says here is a band 9 sample response for this question, and it's not just a sample response, please send it to me. Okay, I would love to see those. I've been doing a bit of searching, but I can't seem to find them, surprisingly. Okay, all right. Not what other people say, what British Council says. All right, so that's a challenge for everyone. Just send it to my email, and if I get 10 of them, great, I'll be happy. Okay, if I get 20 of them, fantastic. If I get none of them, I'll be even a little bit more suspect. Okay, so definitely, if you find them, official URL, British Council, IDP. Not in Cambridge IELTS books, Rajveer. Not in Cambridge IELTS books. I'm specific because it's not, Cambridge doesn't mark them. That's just the thing. So okay, so not in Cambridge IELTS books. Because the publishers of Cambridge books are not actually the same entity as those who grade your essays. Okay, so that's a false correlation there. All right, Rajveer, that's what I would have thought too. I would have thought that makes sense. But no, I'm looking specifically for British Council or IDP, the people who mark your essays. Okay? All right, so that's a challenge. Illustrating a wide range of possibilities, Mahir? No, absolutely not. Your essays do need to be positive, or sorry, do need to be detailed and do need to be specific. I'm sure about that. So no, definitely not. In fact, so your essays must be detailed and original. Okay, I'm sure about that. During the instructions, the invigilator states memorized responses will be marked down. Okay, so this was kind of one of my other assumptions, is that because of my essay and because of my writing, somebody who was marking my writing might have thought I actually used a memorized essay. It's possible. That's one of my theories. Who knows? I'll never know the answer to that because we cannot access the marker's notes and opinions. Okay, use more academic words for Dobbs. Yes, absolutely. So this is one of the revisions that you should focus on while you are reviewing your essay. Okay? So if you see repetition of words, or you see some simple words that you might be able to replace with a better word to give more depth, more clarity to your writing, then definitely. So for Dobbs, that was a good point. Use more academic words. Use a broader range of words. Use words that are more specific to explain your ideas. So for example, let's say I'm writing my essay, just to give you a quick idea here, and I was able to clearly communicate my ideas to the students. Okay, So let's say that I say in my essay I write, I was able to clearly communicate my ideas to the students, and I'm revising this, and I say, okay, well, maybe I can say, I clearly conveyed my theories to my pupils. Okay? So I quickly go back and I retype this sentence to read, I clearly conveyed my theories to my pupils. It reads more academic than I was able to clearly communicate my ideas to my students. So just kind of looking at how you can upgrade the quality of your writing. Okay? Yeah, for Dobbs, so it's right, it's true that you can ask for them to recheck your writing section. However, keep in mind, again, what I said before, that the person rechecking, unfortunately, will always be biased, especially at the higher band scores, because they will know that you are asking for it to recheck because you didn't get that high of a score, as high of a score. So especially between 7 and 9, getting your essay rechecked is really tricky. Okay, so think about it this way, Ferdov. So if you get a band 5.5 and ask for a remark, your score might improve. However, if you get a band 8 and you hope to get a band 8.59, it is unlikely that your score will go up, since not only is the difference very slight, but the person remarking cannot ignore the fact that you are requesting a remark because you did not get a band 8.5 or 9. Does that make sense? Okay, so of course they're going to try to be objective, but they're going to be jaded. Okay, they're going to be biased. Okay. Uphill, I'm very happy about that. Uphill, we have a reading class coming up. Okay. No, I'm not going to say for Dobbs. It's not exactly right. So, okay. Okay. Anyway, let's get into some writing. So just a lot of theory there for you today, but I think that for the writing and for the speaking section, especially for those students, and we definitely have a few students always with us who are in the higher band scores, you do have to be a little bit indifferent to the marking scheme of the higher band scores, okay? So, all right. So let's go back to the original question now, and we're going to move through the planning a little bit faster, okay? So here we go. Companies should produce durable products or products as cheap as possible. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Okay, so the first step, of course, is to paraphrase the question. So let's do that. Let's not rush too much. Let's take a couple of steps just to make sure, of course, that we're on the same page. And this is exactly what you want to avoid in the official IELTS, is to rush through the steps. So let's paraphrase this. Okay. All right, so here's my paraphrase. Take a look. All right. So some people think that companies should produce products durable. Others think that they should be as cheap as possible. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Certain individuals believe that manufacturers ought to make products that stand the test of time, while others believe that goods should be made as affordable as can be. Okay. Discuss both views. Oa says certain individuals believe that corporations must manufacture heavy products with good conditions, but others teams say the companies do not need to produce goods with high quality, only affordability. Okay, Oas, you have some good ideas. We don't say heavy products. Durable products are not the same as heavy products, okay? Rashika says some individuals ascertain that firms should create goods long-lasting. Others think that they should be affordable. Explain both sides and give your idea. Okay. Yeah, for Dobbs, that's another point that's a little bit suspicious, but they can mark down your score for Dobbs. So technically, they could mark your score down. If they mark your score down, again, they have to refund the fees. So, okay. Tanya says, nowadays, various companies offer many goods. Therefore, some people assume that they should produce them as available in cost as possible. Others believe that they should create products that have the admirable quality, even if it makes them expensive. In my opinion, both views have a merit. Okay, Tanya, it's not good to sit on the fence. I think you should just pick one side. So by being diplomatic, I don't mean that you should talk about both of them. I think you should emphasize one over the other. Okay. Rajveer says some individuals ascertain that factories should create items that can be used for a long time. Others argue that companies should produce products that are competitively priced. Okay. Explain both sides. All right. Okay, so let's kind of jump through the planning for now, and let's start to formulate a thesis right away, okay? So first of all, what is your idea? Durable or inexpensive? Okay, what do you think? What is better, just generally speaking? Again, don't sit on the fence. What do you think is better, generally speaking? Is it better to have products which are durable, or is it better to have products which are inexpensive? Okay. And OS, we're definitely talking about quality of products. Ali and Rajveer say durable. Okay. Okay, so my opinion, durable is better, right? Andre, don't go for the middle ground, okay? All right. Because, okay, why is durable better? So if you ask 100 people and you get 100 responses, what do you think are going to be the most popular responses? So why is durable better? Okay. So why is durable better than inexpensive? Okay, what are the first answers that come to mind? Just brainstorm here. They're going to last longer. That's obvious. That's part of it. Okay, Rajveer says better experience. Yeah, okay. Sure. What's another reason? Very good, Kashirsha. So environmentally friendly. Yeah, so we're not creating as much waste, right? For Dobbs, very good. People can save money and effort. Having to purchase again. Okay. All right. Why do then some people prefer inexpensive products? So what's the answer to that? If most of us are saying that, well, it's better to have durable products, then why do some people prefer to have products that are cheaper? Okay. Yeah, Ali says so it fits their budget. Yeah, what's another one? To save money, to have status, yeah. What else? If objects are cheaper, then what can I have? Caroline says, because by having a durable product, we can manage our expenses. True. I think one of the reasons people like cheaper products is so they can have more of them. Right? If products are cheaper, you can simply have more. You can buy a lot of cheap products. Yeah, you have a lot of cheap products, but you have a lot of different cheap products, right? Yeah, more, exactly. People can buy more, quantity. Very good. Okay, so we are just moving along nicely. Okay, so we're going to have 5 paragraphs. And paragraph 1 will be introduction. Paragraph 2 will be body 1. Paragraph 3 will be body 2. Paragraph 4 will be body 3. And paragraph 4 will be conclusion. Okay. Now, based on what we have discussed, what do you think is the right structure of this essay? Okay. So we're going to write short body paragraphs, just 3 sentences each. Okay, that's going to be our goal. So body paragraphs will be just 3 sentences each. And what do you think body paragraph 1 should be about? For Dobbs, no. Body paragraph 1 should not be about durable items. Okay? Remember what our argument is. Okay? So Tanya says opinion, opinion, personal opinion. Okay, Tanya, let's get a little bit more specific. Mihir says cheap products. Absolutely. Always start with the side you don't agree with. Okay, so then okay, durable products and my opinion. All right. Now, I do have to tell you at this point, students, that in university, you have to be very careful because it's not necessarily going to be the same techniques that are going to be valued by your professors as what is valued by the IELTS exam. I've come to learn this, okay? So just be really, really careful with this, all right? Okay, so that's going to be the setup of our essay. Now, we need to write our introduction. And our goal here is to be really concise, okay? So our introduction is still going to have hook, background, thesis. However, we're going to focus on 1 sentence each. Okay? So again, the reason I'm really being very specific and very restrictive with the quantities at this point is because we're going to make sure that we have time for review and improvement. Of course, that's going to be in tomorrow's class as well. Okay, Ois, we are going to put our opinion into the thesis. Okay, so let's start with the hook. Okay, so hook, I believe it was Ois that said this correctly, has to do with the quality of products. Okay, so give me an interesting hook that's very clear. It's a fact. It should be about 8 to 12 words, and it introduces the topic of quality and price. Okay, I'm going to do that as well, and then we'll compare. I'm going to be silent so I don't interrupt your thinking, so think for your own hook at this point. Okay. Ferdov says, people are always seeking to purchase cheap goods with durable quality. Okay, sure. Save it, Ferdov. So again, we're going to look at how to improve our writing. Okay. Saga says, average people prefer to store money for quality items. Saga, that is an okay idea, but unclear sentence. Tanya says, nowadays various companies offer many goods with a wide range of quality and price. That's good, Tanya. You don't need the word us, Tanya. Ferdov says, durable goods can save Mother Earth. That's an argument, Ferdovs. I would steer clear. Nikhil says, long-lasting products have been in demand these days while purchasing. Nikhil, that's also an opinion on the quality of, or the durability of products. Rashika says, quality and price are the most considered aspects nowadays. That's good, Rashika. So just watch the grammar. So quality and price are the most considered variables when purchasing an item. Yeah. Okay, good, Rashika. Ali says, consumers always have a choice between durable and cheap when buying goods. Very nice, Ali. Very nice. Okay, that's great. Okay, now write the background. And in the background, you have to give definition and importance. Okay, so try to include both into one concise sentence. Okay, so all right. So there's mine. Let's see what you come up with for the background. Okay. All right. And so that's the background. Now I'm going to go to the thesis after. Okay. Andre says, a fast future needs cheaper and durable products. Yeah, Andre, I would say it a little bit differently. I think you have a good idea. I think that's your hook, Andre. And for your hook, I would write, consumers demand cheap and durable products. That would be a good hook as well. Consumers demand cheap and durable products. Yeah, that's great. Okay. I'm going on to my thesis while you're writing your background. And I will ask you to do the same in the next step, is go on to your thesis. Okay? All right. Oh, it says companies around the world determine the quality of their products dependent on the markets, whether cheap or expensive. Okay, Ois, I kind of get where you're going with that. Rajveer says some buyers never mind spending millions of dollars to buy quality of products, while others consider the price as a prime factor when purchasing. Okay, Rajveer, yeah, I get you. I think it's okay. Caroline says a company every year has a defined budget for the long and short term. Generally, the long term is a product that is maintained and does not need to be serviced. Okay. I think it's a bit unclear, Caroline. Rashika says people think twice when buying goods that they're long-lasting or affordable. I don't think that has a lot of value, Rashika. So thinking twice, where are we going with that? Okay. Tanya says, therefore, some people prefer products that are available with cost to save money. Others believe that it is more rational to buy products that have an admirable quality, even if it makes them expensive to have as a one-time investment. In my opinion, the second views are more reasonable. Okay, so Tanya, you're kind of rolling together your background and your thesis statement into one. It could work. I prefer to keep them separate. Okay. Alpha, I don't think that weak verbs will be detrimental to your score, but it is a good idea to review and replace for more accurate verbs whenever possible. And we're going to do that in tomorrow's class. Okay. All right, here is my introduction. So I've kept it quite clear and to the point. So customers must constantly make decisions between quality and price when buying products. Most products that are made to last cost more as they demand extra materials and labor, and this affects users' experiences. Although some people prefer cheaper products for affordability, I think that well-made merchandise is better for the customer and environment. Okay? All right, so now what you can do instead of going through the entire essay at the very end, you can space yourself, okay, or you can pace yourself. So here's a little tip, okay. So rather than reviewing and revising your essay at the end, you can, or you may want to, after each paragraph, as this will give you a better idea of the time, of your time management. Okay. All right, so I'll give you an example of how I would do this, all right? So did everybody catch this tip? This is an important tip here. So rather than reviewing and revising your essay at the very end, do it after each paragraph, because every paragraph not only is an idea in itself, it's a concept in itself, but also it is the development of your essay. So I'm sitting my official IELTS exam, and I've just written this paragraph, and this is how I'm going to do it next time when I resit my exam, exactly what I'm showing you right now. And now I'm going to review this paragraph, and only after I've reviewed it will I go on to my next paragraph. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about how I can make it more concise, how I can make it more accurate and avoid mistakes, and how I can use better vocabulary. So customers, instead of customers, because I know I'm using that later on, so I remembered when I was writing that I think it's better for the customer. So instead, I'm going to use the word consumers. Okay? Consumers are another way to say customers. Must constantly, instead of must constantly, I'm just going to go with constantly. Okay? A lot of unnecessary words like must actually weaken the essay. So customers constantly make decisions. Make decisions decide between quality and price when buying products? Most products, okay? So here, I realize right away that I have products and products again. So certainly I'm going to change this one, okay? I don't think I've used the word goods, so I'm going to use goods. Okay, so most goods that are made to last, okay, cost more. Now, made to last, most goods that are made to last, that's going to be a hyphenated word. So notice how many corrections I can make here. By the way, members, if you have suggestions at this point, go for it, okay? So most goods that are made to last cost more as they demand extra materials and labor, and this affects users' experiences. Okay, that looks okay. Although some people prefer, okay, some people, instead of people, I can probably say shoppers. Okay, it's more specific. So people and individuals are classically two nouns that you can be more specific with. So when you see yourself using individuals and people, always think of, is there another person noun that's more specific? So although some shoppers prefer cheaper products for affordability, I think that well-made merchandise is better for the customer and environment. Okay, now I feel like this is a better piece of writing. And hey, if I've just improved by half a band overall when I do all of this, I would be happy. Okay? Yeah, Tanya, in the paper-based exam, I would definitely suggest using a good quality pencil and a good quality eraser when you're doing this, okay? Absolutely. Okay? All right, everyone, so I'm going to stop here for now. I know that I threw a curveball at you in today's class by completely kind of disseminating some of the strategies that I've taught you in the past and going a new direction. But, you know, the world is changing, I'm changing, and I'm adapting as well, and I think it's time to adapt and mold a little bit the way that I approach the writing. It's not to say that what I've taught you so far isn't useful. It's extremely useful, and when you write college and university essays, that is the expected technique, so it's very valuable. But I'm going to be doing some other kind of steps now in the future for task 2 as well, based on my own experiences in learning, and I hope you will enjoy that with me, okay? So thank you so much for hanging in there, everyone, today. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow to finish this essay, talk more about some new techniques and strategies. And coming up in roughly 30 minutes, I will host a reading session for everyone, okay? All right, students, see you soon. I'm Adrian. I'm checking out for now, and I'll be back in half an hour. Of course, I encourage everybody to join us on our websites at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS, and see you shortly. Bye for now.